I had never been so excited in my life. Moving to a new house was like stepping into a grand adventure, and I couldn't wait to explore every nook and cranny of our new home. But little did I know that this new house held secrets far beyond my wildest imagination. The day we moved in, I couldn't contain my excitement. The house was old and creaky, but it had a charm that fascinated me. My parents were busy unpacking, and I decided to explore my new room. It was smaller than my old one, but it had a big window that overlooked the backyard, where the woods loomed dark and mysterious. As night fell, I lay in bed, staring up at the ceiling. That's when I heard it, the soft sound of shifting footsteps, barely audible. I sat up, my heart pounding in my chest. My parents were downstairs, and I knew I was the only one in my room. I tried to brush it off, thinking it might be the house settling. But the footsteps continued, growing louder and closer. No, it can't be, I whispered to myself, pulling the covers tightly around me. I felt a chill in the air, as if an icy presence was lingering nearby. The footsteps moved around my room, and I could almost make out a faint, shadowy figure near the window. Fear gripped me, but I was too terrified to move. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the footsteps stopped. The room fell silent, and I hesitantly peeked out from under my blankets. There was nothing there. I convinced myself that it was just my imagination playing tricks on me, and eventually, I drifted off to sleep. But the nightmares that followed were far too real. I dreamt of a ghostly figure lurking in the shadows, whispering my name in an eerie, haunting voice. Each night, the dreams grew more vivid, and I woke up drenched in sweat, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. One evening, as I was playing in the backyard, I noticed a small, hidden door at the edge of the woods. Curiosity overpowered my fear, and I pushed it open to find a hidden path leading deeper into the woods. The sun was setting, casting an orange glow over the trees, but I couldn't resist following the mysterious trail. As I ventured further, the woods grew darker, and the air became heavy with an unsettling stillness. I felt as if I were being drawn deeper into an abyss, unable to turn back. Panic set in, and I tried to retrace my steps, but the path seemed to twist and turn, leading me deeper into the heart of the haunted woods. Finally, I stumbled upon an old, dilapidated house, hidden amidst the trees. It looked like it hadn't been lived in for decades. My heart pounded in my chest, but something inexplicable compelled me to step inside. The inside was even more decrepit than the exterior, with cobwebs and dust covering every surface. Suddenly, I heard a faint voice calling out from somewhere within the house. It sounded desperate and pleading, and I couldn't resist following it. As I moved through the eerie rooms, the voice seemed to grow louder, guiding me to a room at the end of a dark hallway. I pushed open the door, and my heart sank at what I saw. In the dim light, I could make out the figure of a child, pale and translucent, sitting in the corner of the room. The ghostly apparition looked up at me, its eyes filled with sorrow and longing. "Who are you?" I managed to choke out, my voice barely audible. The ghostly child extended a hand towards me, and I could feel a strange energy in the air. Memories flooded my mind, memories that weren't mine. I saw the child's life unfold before me, a tragic tale of a family torn apart by tragedy and loss. The child had been trapped in the house for years, unable to move on to the afterlife. Tears welled up in my eyes as I realized that the footsteps I had been hearing were the ghostly child's, trying to reach out to me for help. I knew then that I had to do something to set the child's spirit free. With a trembling hand, I reached out and held the ghostly child's hand. I whispered words of comfort and reassurance, urging the child to let go of the pain and sorrow that bound it to the house. A soft, warm light enveloped us both, and I felt a sense of peace wash over me. The child's spirit began to fade, and I knew that it was finally finding its way to a better place. From that day on, the haunting in our new house stopped. The eerie presence that had tormented me was gone, and I could finally sleep peacefully at night. The woods that once seemed terrifying now held a sense of tranquility, as if they were grateful for the release of a trapped soul. As I grew older, I came to understand the true nature of the haunted house. It wasn't a place of malevolence or terror. It was a place of trapped souls, yearning for release and closure. To this day, I carry the memories of that haunted house and the ghostly child with me. It taught me the power of compassion and the importance of helping those in need, no matter how frightening or overwhelming the circumstances may be. And though the experience was terrifying at times, I wouldn't trade it for anything, for it showed me that even in the darkest of places, there can be light and hope.